Welcome back to Daily Decode, the channel where we break down the most shocking, most unexpected, and most viral moments happening across politics, media, and culture. If you thought daytime TV was done serving drama, think again. What we're about to reveal didn't just shake up a courtroom, it shattered the internet, ignited debate across the nation, and left millions in disbelief. Because when you put a legendary TV judge with zero tolerance for nonsense face to face with one of the most outspoken figures in American politics, you better believe sparks will fly, and fly they did. It all started with a much-hyped special episode of Judge Judy's show, meant to blend courtroom drama with a political edge. For the first time ever, the show had invited sitting political figures to participate in a special civic-themed broadcast. The producers promised fireworks, but no one could have anticipated what was coming. Jasmine Crockett, the outspoken Congresswoman from Texas, known for her unapologetic fire and sharp tongue, was brought in as a guest panelist to discuss political accountability. The idea a high-octane debate moderated by the queen of courtroom clapbacks herself, Judge Judy SCREAMED. Now, Judge Judy is famous for her razor-sharp tongue, quick judgments, and refusal to entertain foolishness. For decades, audiences have cheered her unfiltered takedowns, but in this instance her tone crossed a line that many viewers didn't expect. And what happened next sent shockwaves around the globe. As the segment started, Judy was in her usual form, stern, commanding, and quick to challenge anything that smelled like political spin. She kicked things off by grilling Jasmine about recent comments the Congresswoman had made during a fiery exchange on Capitol Hill. Judy leaned in, wagging her finger slightly, and said, "You think you're smarter than the American people, Ms. Crockett, because that's exactly what it sounds like when you talk over people and grandstand." Crockett.com and Collected at first simply replied, "I don't grandstand, Judge, I defend the truth." But Judge Judy wasn't having it. "Don't talk to me about the truth," she snapped. "I've been dealing with liars and manipulators longer than you've been alive. And I know when someone is trying to perform rather than inform. So I suggest you wipe that smug expression off your face and start showing some respect." The live studio audience gasped. It wasn't just the tone, it was the venom in Judy's voice. Social media would later describe the moment as the exact point where the conversation flipped from firm moderation to personal attack. Jasmine's face changed not into one of anger, but of ice-cold calm. Her entire demeanor hardened in real time. Her reply was simple, but devastating. "Judge," Jasmine said with a piercing gaze, "you're not in a courtroom right now. You're in the presence of a sitting member of Congress. So let me be very clear, I don't answer to theatrics, I answer to the people." The audience was stunned. The silence that followed was so thick you could cut it with a gavel. Judy narrowed her eyes, clearly shocked that someone had dared talk back to her on her own platform. She fired back, her voice raised now, yelling, "You may be a member of Congress, but here, you don't get to talk down to me. I made a career cutting through the crap, and I'm telling you now, what you're doing is grandstanding." But Jasmine didn't flinch. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't lose her composure. Instead, she leaned forward slightly, locked eyes with the judge, and said, "And I made a career fighting for people you don't even see. You yell, I listen. You dismiss, I empower. So scream all you want. It doesn't move me." Boom, that was the moment, that was the line that lit the internet on fire. Within minutes, #Crockett vs Judy was trending on X, formerly Twitter. TikTok exploded with edits of the exchange, many underscored by dramatic music and reaction cuts. Thousands of comments flooded in, some cheering Judge Judy for calling out what they saw as political arrogance, but a much larger wave flooded in rallying behind Jasmine Crockett, calling her response classy, dignified, and powerful. And then came the international reactions. Clips of the exchange were aired on news channels in the UK, Canada, Nigeria, India. Even Australia's Sunrise morning show ran a segment titled "When Judge Judy Met Her Match." One viral Australian tweet read, "Judge Judy just got judged, and she lost." That sentiment echoed around the globe. For the first time in her decades-long career, it looked like Judy's infamous authority had finally met a wall it couldn't bulldoze. Political analysts began chiming in too. CNN commentator Van Jones called Jasmine's composure a masterclass in restraint. MSNBC's Joy Reid said, "Judy tried to humiliate a black woman on national TV, and Jasmine didn't flinch. That's strength." Even Fox News, often critical of Crockett, couldn't deny the impact of the moment, running a headline that read, "Congresswoman freezes out Judge Judy in viral exchange." But perhaps the biggest surprise of all came the day after the broadcast, when Judge Judy herself issued a rare statement. Known for never backing down, Judy admitted in a press release that things got more heated than anticipated, and that her tone may have been sharper than necessary. It wasn't an apology exactly, but it was the closest thing anyone had ever seen from the no-nonsense judge. Still, Jasmine wasn't looking for apologies. She took to social media that same day and posted a clip of the moment with a caption that read, "Respect is a two-way street. You don't have to scream to be heard, you just have to speak the truth." That post alone garnered over 20 million views in 24 hours. But why did this moment go so viral? What about this exchange captured the world's attention? Some say it's because it represented a shift, a generational clash, a change in tone, a moment where the old guard and the new wave collided in real time. Others believe it's a reminder that women, especially women of color, are no longer tolerating disrespect, not in politics, not in media, and certainly not on national television. And make no mistake, this wasn't just a battle of personalities, this was a cultural moment. Judge Judy, a symbol of tough justice and no BS authority, met Jasmine Crockett, a symbol of rising political resistance and unshakable poise. And the world couldn't look away. In the days that followed, late-night talk shows made it a central punchline, memes poured in. Edits of the exchange were transformed into dramatic trailers, courtroom remixes, and even parody songs. It became bigger than a fight, it became a flashpoint. Even classrooms and debate forums began using the clip to teach about tone, power dynamics, and media bias. Teachers played it to spark discussions about when authority becomes authoritarian, and how poise can be more powerful than volume. And perhaps the most unexpected twist: ratings for the special sword. What was meant to be a one-off civic segment suddenly became a cultural landmark. Networks began floating the idea of pairing Judy and Jasmine in follow-up debates. Streaming platforms saw massive spikes in views on older Judge Judy episodes as younger viewers tuned in to see who this courtroom legend really was. But through all the chaos, one thing stood out. Jasmine Crockett never raised her voice. She never insulted back. She simply refused to be rattled. And in today's world, where outrage often wins headlines, her calm hit harder than any scream. So what's next? Will there be a rematch? Will Judge Judy try to reclaim her authority in another televised showdown? Or has this moment marked a permanent shift in how power dynamics play out in public? One thing is certain, that single moment when Judy screamed and Jasmine didn't blink will live on as a defining clip in television history. It wasn't just viral, it was symbolic. Thanks for watching Daily Decode, where we don't just report what happened, we show you why it matters. If you found this moment as powerful and surprising as we did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and let us know in the comments whose side were you on. Was Judge Judy out of line? Or did Jasmine Crockett just redefine how you win an argument? Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, and keep decoding the truth.